Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order, the July 13th board meeting. Can we have a roll call vote, please, Sarah, clerk?
Yes. Trustee Donnersberger?
Here.
Trustee Eck?
Here.
Trustee Gazis? Trustee O'Laughlin? Trustee Saldana? Trustee Svetska?
Here.
And President Wittenberg?
Here. Could we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I just want everyone to know that we are broadcasting on Channel 6 on Comcast and also the YouTube channel and Facebook Live. So if anybody can't make the meeting next month, you can always have the option to watch us on all of those different alternatives. I am going to give a short mayor's report tonight. I'm going to try to, there's a lot of topics, so I'm going to try to roll through them very, very quickly. This certainly will we'll have more detail in Andy's report as well. I'd like to give everybody an update on the severe storm and tornado that we had in the village the other evening and give you an update for everybody. Yesterday evening on the south side of the village, we were hit by a tornado with winds from 86 to 110 miles per hour. On the National Weather Service website just recently, they did confirm that there was a tornado that went from Burr Ridge to Stickney, and it's an EF1. There is a map online if you would like to see that information on the National Weather Service website. Police, fire, and public works responded immediately. Fortunately, no one was injured. There are a number of properties that have experienced property damage, including 4 townhomes in the Chestnut on the Green subdivision that experienced serious damage. Power lines were knocked out, resulting in the closure of the 72nd Street Bridge, which is still closed right now. Last night, the cleanup crews were out until 11 o'clock and only left after all trees were removed from village streets. They were cleared for our emergency vehicles. The morning cleanup crews were out early to start removing debris. Cleanup crews are still working on restoring the area. SBC Waste Solutions will conduct a special pickup tomorrow for residents impacted by the storm. Residents on Arrowhead Trail, 72nd Street, Flag Creek Drive can put damaged items and debris to the curb. No stickers will be required. Thank you to all of the first responders and cleanup crews for their hard work. Everybody pitched in, and it was a wonderful thing to see. Happened very quickly, and also our residents as well. Thank you to the LaGrange Highlands Sanitary District, Willow Springs, Burr Ridge for assisting the village in its cleanup efforts. Please stay alert to any local news and official updates from the village for the most up-to-date information. So if anybody has or needs any details, please reach out to Andy in email, or a lot of you have our phone numbers, so please don't hesitate to reach out in any way that you feel appropriate. The next item I'd like to cover is the Wolf Road Embankment punch list. We want to make sure that all the residents understand in those areas that we are creating punch lists on all the major initiatives that we have in the village. So right now we have several items on the embankment drainage and on the embankment project that I wanted everybody to be aware of. We have had 2 meetings now with the 294 team very recently over the last month. One was in person and one was via Zoom, where we've identified 3 major areas: a drainage issue that they are going to be correcting for drainage from the bridge, our landscaping plan, which was very quickly shared with us. So we've had input on the landscaping for the embankment, as well as the trees around the park and the area where they removed all of the trees around the park and the curve over on Keokuk. So we have made specific requests for the trees, substituting certain trees, both hardwood trees as well as spruce and other things. So, and they have been very open to taking our requests. So that planting will be happening over the next couple of months. We also have asked for the shoulders to be restored next to the park off of Keokuk. So all of those were damaged by the heavy equipment. The other punch list that we are managing is going to be the Wolf Road punch list. There has been a number of people on the South Wolf residents that feel that the area looks very unkempt, sloppy, muddy, a lot of garbage and construction debris strewn about. So we now have initiated a punch list with the county and 294 teams. I actually met with the, I didn't tell Andy this because this was one of those things that happened on my way home from our tree cleaning today. I met with the 3 engineers that are starting the project this week. So they are going to be cutting a shoulder, a 12-inch shoulder on the side of Wolf Road under the 294 bridge. They're starting on the west side. So they're going to go 12 inches down, and they're going to create 2 shoulders on each side of Wolf Road under the 294 bridge. And there will be drainage that will be accompanying that area. And I asked the engineer, like, are we going to get rid of this water that is standing under the bridge? And he's hopeful that that will be able to be eliminated, and the water that flows down from the bridge on either side. We also talked about the pigeon guano. That's been a hot topic. And we will have metal spikes put up there, but the pigeons are also in the eaves or between the bridge, so that's going to be a bigger issue. So my point is, to get to the bottom line here, is we're going to maintain punch lists on both of these items and any other construction projects that are happening in the village, and making sure that these punch list items are being completed. And if they're not completed, then you'll have reasonings why those things are not being completed. The last but not least, I wanted to let everyone know about the Wolf Road Public Involvement Plan and CAC. I know this has been a very big focal point for our village, and I wanted to let you know what happened on July 10th. We had a kickoff meeting for the Wolf Road Reconstruction Project with Cook County, Strand, R.M. Chin, who is the communications consultant, and Indian Head Park. They have forwarded a draft public involvement plan, which we received, and we will be making revisions to that. The village has a right to make revisions with their teams. That'll be due by the end of July. And the trustees here on the dais will have the ability to make those edits, and Andy and the other administrative people, and we'll get those back to Cook County and Strand by the end of July. Also, they have given us the ability to have up to, on the CAC, which is the Corridor Advisory Committee for this project, to have a total of 5 people, 3 which will be from Indian Head Park. So we're happy that they were able to extend the number of residents from Indian Head Park. We will have an application for that will be available online, and we will also have a process of selecting those 3 people from the village, from the residents as well. The CAC process will start in early September, and applications will be due by the end of September for the Corridor Advisory Council. We have been provided with a draft application that we are reviewing this week, and we will get that back to the committee, Strand, and the county by the end of the month. By the end of July, there will be a dedicated project email that will be used to capture feedback and facilitate communication. So you're going to have the ability to get on a website and mark a map of where there are problems with Wolf Road safety, road safety, just like you were able to do for Plainfield Road. If you remember, they also had a PIP and a CAC for Plainfield Road. We are having the same type of communication. You'll be able to mark a map with any issues with the road that you have now regarding safety, turning, areas of the road that you feel are unsafe. So there's going to be this website for Wolf Road that you're going to be able to interact with and give feedback on. So that email, you will email that project team. So any communication you have will be directly with the project team. The company that is managing all that is named RM Chin, and they are on our committee as well. The first CAC meeting will be held in October, potentially the week of October 16th, depending on schedules. And we will see a specific Wolf Road website launch date in August. So that website should be up sometime in August, and we will be looking at the draft website in July. Thank you. We are now at the point in our meeting that we can have public comments.
Before we do that, Madam President, I'd like to accent what you said in regards to the staff work that's been done over the last couple days. We've had a lot of people on staff, everybody just jumping in order to deal with the tragedy of the tornado and the damage that it did. Public Works was there late. Police Department was there. Staff was there. You've been there the whole time. And this has really been a coordinated effort, and I just think it deserves a second comment and a thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Totally agree. Totally agree.
If I can add to that, not only thanking staff, but the residents. I had the opportunity to talk to some of them today, and my heart goes out. I don't know if there's any here in the room that have suffered that, but it's incredible. TV doesn't capture what you're going through, and I just hope that and know that the trustees are all behind you, and I think the whole village is. So you just let us know what you need, and we'll try to fill it.
Thank you, Eileen. Any other comments from the board?
I don't have anything else to say that you guys haven't, but Justin, thank you to you and your team. I know you guys have been out there. We appreciate it. Thank you. And our police force and the communities that helped. We really do appreciate it, so thank you.
Do we have any public comments?
So I'm Jeff Booty from Chestnut on the Green Phase 2. I'm also the president of the association there. And I'm on behalf of the residents of the area, we'd like to thank everyone for their help and support. We greatly appreciate it, especially you, Amy Jo, especially last night when I was a little bit frantic. It was great to get you to call and to help us out with the things that we needed. Charles, you came out. That was great. Thanks for your help. Pleasantdale EMS, the fire department coming out, Indian Head Police, Chief Kuranek was great, keeping me calm during the stressful situation. ComEd for coming out and doing everything. SBC, especially extending the garbage pickup for us, and the Homer Tree Service. We greatly appreciate everything that you guys have done. I would like to further personally thank the residents of Chestnut on the Green for their patience and cooperation, as well as their ability to stay calm during a stressful time. As we all know, it was out of hand. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you very much. Do we have any more public comments? If there are no other comments, can we have a motion for the consent agenda, please?
I'll second. Oh, sorry.
Can we have a roll call vote? Sarah? Clerk?
Trustee Donnersberger.
Aye.
Trustee Eck.
Aye.
Trustee Gazis. Trustee O'Laughlin. Trustee Saldana. Trustee Svetska.
Aye.
Do you vote? Okay.
Yes.
President Wittenberg?
Yes.
Okay.
Aye. All righty. Moving on to new business, could we please have a motion for item A, please? Oh, okay. So this is just for discussion purposes. Andy, do you want to take
I'll
the
take it away.
discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. So this item, David, will you pull up the first image for the screen? So this item, 6971 Vine Street, this is a property located in the Triangle Planned Unit Development. Long story short, this is a property that is zoned B3. Tonight we have the two new owners of the property here. We're looking for a change in use from B3 to mixed use. My understanding is that they're looking to have residential on the top floor and a food catering service on the bottom floor. And with that, I'll hand it over to the gentleman to give a brief overview and answer questions from the Board of Trustees. Now, I would just remind everybody that this is the first step in the plan unit development approval process. This is a process in which the goal here is to provide some general feedback to these gentlemen as to whether the village board is interested in this type of project, so as to save their time if the board is not. And so that he can answer any questions that you may have. So with that, I'll hand it off to you if you want to just present an overview, and we'll ask questions and go from there.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Saleh Hatoum. I'm the medical director of Northern Illinois Cancer Treatment Center in Dixon. I came to United States 2013 as a refugee from Syria, and I studied hard to get my license and passed all the boards and at Northwestern University, and became radiation oncologist and medical director now. So, short story, with hope for better future, me and my friend, he is a GI doctor at Cook County Hospital also, we look for a better opportunity to improve something, because our hobby to enjoy cooking food for our children and my wife and his wife and like that. So it's a long story habit like this. So, and one day, 2 months ago, a gentleman, he's like real estate agent, showed us this video that this property in process, it's not more residential, it will continue, it will be like a business, because this area will change to business. So it come to us if we can do something here, like to improve this property as we can have a residential in the upstairs. We brought, before we bought this, inspections, and they told us that the building is solid, everything seems to be okay. The only thing that it needs some like cosmetics from inside, cleaning and like refreshment. So it's solid building, to tell the truth, and the plan is for the upper stair, we need to do, if you agree, to do like a rehab and make sure that everything in good shape. If we can have that for someone to have it as a residential apartment. And the downstairs, we would like to have it like an office for us, and with the other space, because there is like half acre behind the building, we would like in future to have something to plan as a catering or processing food, making something for future. That's the preliminary plan for the future. So right now we would like to have the agreement to go forward, do some rehab for that building, make sure that it's in good shape for use. And then the second project for us, depending on the budget, how we can establish our business in that area, since depending on your approval. The other thing, maybe in the future, giving if you can see, there is maybe 3 buildings in new buildings in great shape. Our project in the future to do the same thing, but this is depending on our work or income or all of that stuff, or if we can have mortgage to build like those and have it as I think that area, the floor has dental offices, and up has some apartments, to make it in good shape. That's the plan for futures. But right now, after we bought this property, we spent all the money, and we have something to do rehab. That's basically what we are going to do. Any question, please?
I have a question. Have you ever done anything like this in the past?
Yes. Actually, in Jordan, I owned a big restaurant, And beside working as a physician, I have a side business, and I like it. It's like a habit. My specialty as a radiation oncologist, I finish my work at 4:30, and after that, I don't have any on-call, and I don't have anything on weekends. So I would like to do something aside, beside doing my job.
So you have a restaurant now?
No, right now, no.
Oh,
That's the plan for future. But I had a restaurant, a successful restaurant outside of United States.
Right, okay.
We like to cook Mediterranean food, and we are expert in that.
Okay.
If you
And
would
what
like
kind
to
of
try
food do you,
something.
what kind of food do you cook?
So we cook rice and chicken, biryani. We cook grape leaves. We cook
Okay.
this like hummus,
Yeah.
baba ganoush, all of that stuff, and with salad, fattoush, all of that Mediterranean. We like to do that
Right.
with fresh vegetables, and everything has specific ingredients.
And then what kind of an office do you intend to put on the first floor?
So basically, any business, you need a space to have communications with customers, communications with others. We need a specific space to have in that area for me and for my friend, who is like my business partner now. And after that, actually, we have a big space in behind of the building, and in the garage area, we can like turn that area to preparing for catering or doing something good.
In an existing building, or are you going to have to build a new building?
No, we would like to actually not in the same buildings. The same building, the downstairs, we are looking to do like an office, upstairs for living, but aside with the garage and that big lot, we would like to establish something, a new building. A new building meet the requirement for preparing food or restaurant.
So with the existing space renovation that you're talking about on that first floor where you would construct an office space, what would you do with the remainder of the first floor? Then would you be using that as like a food prep area at first?
To
Or?
tell the truth, no. The first floor is small, to tell the truth. It has like a kitchen, maybe like living area with a half bath. That's the only thing in the first floor. So it's basically, you can have like a waiting area, for example, or some entree,
Right.
and then you have an office with a small restroom or something like that. That's basically in the first floor. You cannot do anything. But upstairs, there is a kitchen, full bath, and 2-bedroom and living area.
Okay. So is your desire, once you continue or once you finish developing the property, is this going to be a catering only business or something where people would perhaps order food and come pick it up? Or what's your kind of long-term vision?
We are open for any idea to meet the requirement of that area. So if we have the space, to tell the truth, if I have the budget, I will turn everything and make it from scratch in great shape. But it takes time sometimes.
Sure.
It took like 6 years to become a physician in the United States. So slowly we can make it. So we need your support to give us this chance to improve something and add something to this beautiful village.
So one more question, and I know it'll probably be a challenging one to answer, but without talking about budget constraints, ideally, when would you like to add those additional structures to this lot so that you could have a fully finished business space? Like within a year, or 5 years, or like what's kind of your projection?
No, this year, we would like just to work on the office, on the upper stairs. But in the next year, hopefully, we will. So to tell the truth, we started already to have an engineer, a civil engineer. We have friends who would like to give us an idea. But before we get the agreement from you to proceed for something, it doesn't make sense to start to have consultant to come. Everything costs money.
Sure.
So we need agreement forward to go forward, and When we have the plan ready, we'll come back again and get the agreement from you with that full vision. But right now, we would like your agreement to just do rehab for that building, make it in good shape for living and for office. And when the next step happen, we'll contact Andy and come back to present what we can do. But maybe starting from next year, that is the hope, because now it takes approximately like 3 to 4 months to finish that rehab in the building. And after that, we will have that. If you guys give us approval to move, we can prepare in the beginning of next year what is the second step for us.
Thank you.
Depending on the size of the lot, depending
Right.
on what is the things.
Thank you.
It
Yeah,
sounds
you're
like a wonderful plan, and I applaud you for it. And I wish you the best of luck. But you need to understand that that is part of a PUD, what we call the PUD, the Plan Unit Development. And a big part of the PUD is to raise income for the village.
Yeah.
And I don't see any income from what you have planned for the next year. It will come with the restaurant or with the catering business, but that seems to be pretty iffy at this point in time.
What do you mean?
Well,
by
I mean,
if-
it's not sure, it's not a sure thing.
Without your agreement to proceed, how can I do anything for future? So nowadays, if I want to have, for example, this is my plan or my goal to do this business. How can I bring someone to tell me that you can do 1, 2, 3 before you agree, or I spend money without your agreement? Do you want me to bring like a plan for everything and show it to you, and that will you agreement? Or we can have agreement for flip that property to mixed use, and next time we can have the plan for you. So now we need the agreement that we can flip this area to mixed use. And when you flip that property to mixed use, directly the tax will increase. We understand that area. But me and you would like to have extra income. Without studying how we can do that, I cannot put my money gambling if that's gonna happen. I will spend tons of money making engineering come, and when you say like, you cannot do this business here, it doesn't make sense to spend that money for me. But if you agree that I can flip this property to mixed use, this is a green light that I can use the upper stairs. That will have some income to me and to the city or to the federal tax, income tax. The second thing, I will have that as an office and start to move forward. Right now, we don't have any area to like sit down and talk to people. If I want to invite someone to come and see that property and say, hey, you can do this and you can I cannot have someone to come. We don't have lights. And Andy mentioned that we cannot do anything in that property, even cleaning, before we have the agreement from the city, because that area has been empty for like 1 year.
Yeah, there's one living unit on the second floor,
Yes.
and on the first floor, what is there now if there's only a half bath? There's not a living unit in there, or was it a combination?
It's a combination. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Today, so it was a combination first and second floor living, so you're looking to cut the living area to just the second floor.
Exactly. No. It's actually, it's one house. It used to be one house. So that for example, the living area and small kitchen and half bath and the upstairs has, but it has access from outside. Has different entrance to upstairs.
On the second step or the third step where you're talking about doing something in the rather large backyard, explain a little bit what that might be. Is that a kitchen that you're looking to possibly put in the to construct in the backyard, or?
We have like preliminary plan to put like a big parking lot in that area, do asphalt back like blacktop, to make it in good shape. And like, first of all, we have to meet the requirement for parking for customers. And then, depending on the rest of the space that we have, we might be able to create a nice area for restaurant.
Well,
Might you
Like
be able
for
to,
cooking,
might you be able to accomplish that if you put the office on the second floor and the restaurant on the first floor?
No, we don't have any space for that. You need area for preparing food and area for if you want to prepare something to take out. Yeah, we can do that hypothetically. But if you want something for people to sit and enjoy that, we have to have an extra space outside. We cannot do that inside the building. Maybe preparing food, yes.
You can expand the building to do that, right?
It's everything possible, but
Yeah.
how can I have someone to come and give me thoughts without your agreement that I can do something, business, for example? If you give me the agreement that I can move forward, I will bring different projects and present it to you, 1, 2, 3, and we'll agree on one of them and go forward.
So I think that there's some openness to the board in regards to mixed use or some kind of project like that. I think the next best step would be
Not at this end, Andy.
okay. Oh, understood. So I think the best next step would be after this meeting. Let's you and I we'll sit down. We'll talk together. And then the next thing would go to our Planning and Zoning Commission, which would look at the project more in depth, and eventually they'll make a recommendation to this body, who has the final say. So I think the board's given you some feedback, some food for thought. After this meeting, I'll follow up with you. We can sit down together and review and discuss, and then move forward.
Yeah. After this meeting now?
Not immediately after, but I'll reach out to you
Okay, but
tomorrow.
we need to clean that building, do something just to make it in good shape. So we need that agreement just to give me that you can do some cleaning, you can do something inside.
Yeah, it's okay to do cleaning. I mean, you own the property. It's
Yeah.
right now. It's okay. It's an allowed use as a business strictly. It's just the mixed use part that needs the change in zoning. So you're good to clean, to rehabilitate it, but any major modifications need to wait until approval from the village.
Yeah.
So-
Agree. Okay.
So I'll reach out to you tomorrow,
Okay.
and we can go forward from there.
Thank you.
Good luck.
And Andy, if I could just make one comment, I guess maybe when you speak with these gentlemen, maybe give them some ideas of things they could bring to planning and zoning to help them kind of visualize their long-term goals.
All righty. If there are no other questions or comments, then if we could move on to the first reading for the Committee of the Whole ordinance. As we discussed at the June board meeting, we talked about the establishment of a Committee of the Whole, which will require the passage of this ordinance. This ordinance will establish the rules and procedures for this committee. The intention of the Committee of the Whole, or as we call it, a COW, is to provide a more informal setting for village trustees to discuss policy at length and to bring up ideas and topics for discussion. The ordinance as written would not allow for final action to be taken at a COW session. Any action would take place at the next Village Board of Trustees meeting. So Andy has written up here that the village attorney has crafted this ordinance to provide flexibility to the board, which we've asked for, ways we can do this, to have sessions of a Committee of the Whole. As the board has previously discussed, quarterly Committee of the Whole sessions. So this is sort of a way for us to get together and have some very detailed discussions about important matters for the village, and not doing that necessarily at this meeting, and this meeting being more of a business meeting. So this is just a first reading. We're not taking a vote tonight, but we really probably, I would think, next meeting would want to take a vote on this formally. So if I could ask you all to review all of this, get any feedback to us so we can vote on it next time, that would be great, if that makes sense. And then we discussed doing this quarterly, so then we would figure out the next time we would have the committee of the whole. And then I think there's some requirement that we get those scheduled according to the Open Meetings Act. So for us to move forward, this would happen then in August. Is that of agreement with everyone? Sure. Great. All righty. Next item. Can I have a motion, please, for the next item on the agenda? Item C.
So moved.
I'll second.
And just for the record,
read
it's
the-
a motion to approve ordinance 2023-22, an ordinance increasing the number of allowed gaming terminals at 7-Eleven.
Andy?
So 7-Eleven has asked us to allow this increase from 5 to 6 gaming terminals. The state of Illinois in the last year increased the allowed amount of terminals at a restaurant and service and bars and other service businesses. And so this ordinance simply increases the amount from 5 to 6. The village charges a per terminal gaming fee of $250. So this ordinance would lead to an increase in $250 per year, which is not that much, but at the same time, it could increase accessibility to the machines and lead to more gaming revenue for the village. To put it into greater context, the Village of Indian Head Park has 6 locations that have gaming licenses, and in the last fiscal year, we received $123,000 in gaming revenues. So staff recommends approval of this ordinance, and that's all I have.
I have a question. How many of these machines are in Indian Head Plaza, do you know?
18 right now.
18. And is there a cap on how many can be in the Indian Head Plaza?
There is no village cap. My understanding is that the owner of Indian Head Plaza has an agreement with some of his lessees that he cannot allow other businesses to get gaming terminals. But that's not a village rule. It's a tenant and owner relationship or contract.
But he's allowing them to have 4.
7-Eleven is 7-Eleven's non-Indian Head Plaza. 7-Eleven's
It's Brookside.
over near
I'm
Brookside.
thinking of,
Yeah, it's Brookside.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, quick question, Andy. This is just to confirm in my brain. So, the background information that we have says that the Illinois law allows up to 6 in bars and restaurants, but then you said also in other business types. Okay, so we don't have a business type issue here.
Yeah. no.
Okay, just checking. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
Seeing there are no other questions, can we have a roll call vote, clerk?
Yes. Trustee Donnersberger.
Aye.
Trustee Eck.
Aye.
Trustee Gazis. Trustee O'Laughlin. Trustee Saldana. Trustee Svetska.
Aye.
President Wittenberger.
Aye. That motion has
Motion
passed.
Yes.
Thank you. The next up is a discussion. I'm going to turn it over to Andy for just a moment on the appointment of the village clerk.
Yes. So, as the board knows, in the last municipal elections in April, there were no candidates that ran for village clerk, and so now the board is faced with a couple of options. First, the village president, Amy, could nominate an elector within the village to fulfill that role, and then there would have to be a special election in 2 years. Another option, and an option that staff strongly recommends consideration, is Illinois law allows municipalities under 5,000 to appoint a clerk instead of having an elected clerk. This is because, just as in the case of Indian Head Park with small town, it can be difficult to find somebody who wants to fulfill that role. So with that, staff does recommend going. You have a memo in front of you with options 1 and 2. Staff does recommend going with option 2, but tonight there's no action requested. Just wanted to bring this to you for for informational purposes and to see if you had any questions.
Any questions regarding clerk, the position of clerk, and making that a recommendation, option 2.
So if we go with option 2, I'm guessing at the next meeting, there would be a nominee that you would suggest, and could we vote that person in at the same meeting?
Yes, our goal, we would like to have a member of staff, Sarah,
Right.
fulfill that role. That's our recommendation.
So any other questions? So we'll move that to August then for the agenda. Everybody's okay with that? To make a decision, and then we'll have that done and completed so we can move on. Is that
Great.
acceptable?
Acceptable, absolutely.
Great.
Thank you.
All righty, we are now on to reports. Charlie, do we want to do trustee reports first?
Yeah, a couple. I'd like to accent what you talked about initially in regards to Wolf Road. And one of the things that I had a problem with was getting an understanding of what's the difference between a PIP and a CAC and what do they mean. And so I asked somebody on that as well. A PIP is a written report. That's the game plan to how we're going to approach dealing with the Wolf Road issues. The CAC can be a Consumer Action Committee, Corridor Advisory Committee, Corridor Advisory Council. I'm not sure what the final is, but it is the community committee that is going to work with the Wolf Road team. The team is made up of members from the county, Strand, who's an engineering firm, and Chin, who is the facilitator of this process as well. And during the process, the team will be meeting with the CAC. It will also, with the people in the CAC, it will also be having several open meetings so that community members can express their opinions in regards to any aspect of the Wolf Road project. So the difference, again, a PIP is a written document, a CAC is people, and the process has started. That's my comments on Wolf Road. Now, we also have Pump House Works. We had a meeting last month. We have a meeting this month, and we generally meet monthly on the Public Works. We cover such things as what's happening with the pump house, the facility study, which is a study that was initiated almost a year ago, and it looks at the 3 major buildings in the Village Hall, which is where we're in now, the Public Works Building, and the Heritage Center. And the committee is going to be looking at the recommendations in total and hopefully be in a position to come back and report to the Board of Trustees a recommendation relative to all aspects of the committee. It's my understanding, Andy, that next month we'll have someone from Strand will give a quick overview of the facility study. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. We're going to start that aspect of our review at the next committee meeting, which is July 20th. Also included in Public Works are items such as the signage, the parks, stormwater, and we'll be looking at those issues as well. The second committee report is in regards to Finance Committee, and we've been working with Helia and staff regarding looking at what our expected cash flow is going to be over the next year, and I understand I got a draft of that today. Thank you. And we will be looking at making sure that we have our funds available as we start making some major payouts, particularly for the pump house. So much for any questions? Thank you.
And just a reminder, there is a meeting. You have a committee meeting this week, right?
Next Thursday morning.
Next Thursday.
Yeah.
Public Works meeting.
Right.
And there also is an Economic Development Committee meeting. So Eileen, would you like to give a report?
Sure. So we've been meeting and discussing some of the developments that are talked about for the Triangle, including Dunkin' Donuts and the proposed car wash and signage going in there. But right now, we're concentrating on having, bringing together all the businesses in the community, having sort of a roundtable discussion with them to find out what their needs are, let them voice that to us, and work with them in the future to become joint partners in making our businesses more viable in the community. That's it.
Any other reports? Danielle?
Just a brief comment about the Landscape Committee. We are only meeting every other month at present, so our next meeting will be on Wednesday, August 16th at 6:30 p.m. I'd love to invite anybody who has any interest in what's going on with landscaping throughout the village to please come join us. Some of our hot topics that we're continuing to talk about are the landscaping along Plainfields, Keokuk, and the projected landscaping along Wolf. We're also talking a lot about buckthorn and a couple of other issues that residents have brought to our attention. So if anyone's interested, I would strongly encourage you to come out and join us. Thank you so much.
And if I can add, the Economic Development Committee meets every third Tuesday at 6:30 right here.
Any other committee trustee reports? Just one thing that I wanted to bring up is to remind everybody that on August 1st, we have the National Night Out. And I may have taken this from Chief of Police, but I just want to remind everybody that we're having a major event in Black Hawk Park. There will be a helicopter landing. There will be a reptile show, Model A's. There will be all sorts of things for all ages. A touch-a-truck for the kids, a bouncy, all sorts of obstacle courses. There will be a variety of different community organizations that will have information tables. And then we will have a movie night. And the movie is...
To be determined.
To be determined. We're trying to get a police movie that is appropriate for children, besides Kindergarten Cop. So if anybody has any ideas, let us know. Alrighty, could we have the report from our village treasurer, Helia?
Yeah.
Financial summary for the month ending June 2023. Our cash on hand at the end of May was $3,329,000, and our total warrants for the month of June were $492,000. Revenue that we collected was $470,000, leaving us with an ending balance in the bank of $3,307,000. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, treasurer. Village attorney.
No report. We'll be seeking a closed session later in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Andy, interim village administrator.
Yes, a couple things. So while the movie for NNO is still to be determined, what has been determined is on Saturday, August 5th, we're going to have a movie in the park, in Black Hawk Park, and that movie is going to be Lightyear. So bring the kids, bring them out to watch Lightyear. We're going to be hosting that event with C-SPAR. And speaking of C-SPAR, just a little background. C-SPAR is a park district that we are members of. It's a park district for residents with special needs. And right now we are, with the new board, we're looking for a new delegate, a resident who would be interested in attending C-SPAR meetings and keeping the board up to date on what's going on with those activities. So if you have any interest in that position or know anyone who might be interested, please reach out to us at Village Hall. Quickest way would be to send the email in. You can go to our website. Our email information is there. Or you can call 708-246-3080. I would also say over the last month, village staff has been working extremely hard. The summer months are always our busiest months, but during this time of transition and turnover, it's been especially busy. So I just want to thank village staff for their extremely hard work. You know, this week was a very, very busy week, and then we had our tornado, and it got a lot busier. And so, again, I will reiterate my thanks to the team that was out there late last night, past 11 o'clock, cleaning up, and who is still doing so right now. A couple other items. We're finished up with the vehicle sticker season. Right now is the late fee period. So if you have not purchased them yet, please come by, purchase your vehicle stickers. The village is going to start ramping up enforcement. We have a list from the Secretary of State's office of registered vehicles in town, so we'll be following up with you if you have not purchased your vehicle sticker. Additionally, staff has been working on a number of projects, some like scanning and digitization of old building permits and other records. The implementation of our GIS program, which we'll be talking about that more at the August Public Works Committee. And preparing for committee meetings, which we've been having a lot with the new board, which is exciting. There's a lot of opportunity to do a lot of interesting and good things for the community. And the final thing I'll say is we've been working on wrapping up our audit. Helia has been working very hard on that. And that's all I have. I'm going to let Justin and Mike cover some of the storm updates. Oh, one thing I will mention is, so SPC will be out tomorrow for the affected areas to do a special garbage collection. SPC will also be out on Monday, so you'll have the weekend. Whatever you can get to the curb, SPC is going to take. So that's all I have. Justin, would you come on and give us an update?
Could I just make a quick comment? I just wanted to say, Andy, I know you thanked staff, but we also thank you, because without your coordination effort of all this, we wouldn't be as cohesive as we are with this response. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're here.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Andy. Thanks, everyone. I'll be real quick. We're the update as of right now. Excuse me, Joe Carmia. Was down there on the 72nd Bridge, and that is now open. However, it's a one lane. The ComEd lines are up, but it's still low-hanging telecommunications. So we're going to go out there and try to open it up a little bit more and post some like one lane because it's right on the bridge on the curve. The access road is still open. So that's our status right now. But thank you to Mayor, Trustee Ag, everyone, Andy, staff, Pepe, Pedro, William, Skip, Kyle. We had Burr Ridge come out, Willow Springs, LaGrange offered help, Home Depot, Coolant Landscaping, Blue Island Equipment Rental. Sanut and Homer Tree were out today. Sanut will be out again tomorrow on Arrowhead Trail. And if there's any other kind of random things, then their crew will be out. Our guys will be out, any other small stuff to kind of pick out. As far as branches, PD, Fire, ComEd, are also huge help. Besides that, just a quick overview of last month. We've had 3 storm drain point maintenance repairs. Pontiac Drive ditch improvement, which is an ongoing task order we began earlier this year to address what kind of maintenance we might need as far as being a very flat area along Pontiac. And then 6361 Pontiac, that we had done a bunch of cleaning up maintenance, basically. Thomas Engineering is conducting the survey to establish grading lines and condition of the culverts. So that's what Jeff was out there doing, just to finalize, hey, is it a bad culvert or what, just to finish that before any reshaping. So nothing major. We replaced a leaking broke fire hydrant on 3 Deer Crest. And that's about all I got for now. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You mentioned one of the tree places that we had that they had a little problem, but they still got here?
Yes, sir. So Sanut Tree Company, we called them last night to come out today to help, and found out that they were hit. Their warehouse, their building is in McCook, and was hit by a tornado, and crushed their whole building with all the trucks in it. So they're out to 2, 3 in the morning, and still came out at 7 o'clock this morning to help on Arrowhead Trail remove trees. I don't know how they did it, but they're a great company, and Homer Tree Care too as well. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Good evening. Let's see. In regard to the last night's storm, the police department was able to provide overnight security to a certain degree. While we couldn't post a card down there to prevent looting or anything, we didn't expect to have any looting taking place in town. But we did place a couple of extra squad cars down in the area just to give the illusion that somebody was there all night. But the guys did conduct more frequent patrols of the areas on Arrowhead Trail and on Chestnut on the Green. We're still working on the emergency park phones. We're waiting on Comcast for installation of their wiring, but apparently Comcast doesn't have any wire to put in new runs or anything right now. So we're waiting on that. That was a little unusual. We're conducting background checks for 2 new police applicants, one for a full-time position and one for a part-time position. We've been asked to conduct some extra patrols on a vacant lot at Tecumseh and Blackhawk, and the officers have been directed to conduct at least 2 foot patrol sessions during each of their shifts, just to avoid the kids hanging out and treating it as their own campground or something. And that's all I really have. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank everybody for their help the last couple of days. It's appreciated. Alrighty, seeing we are done with our reports, it is now the time in our meeting where we have public comments. Do we have anyone that wants to stand up and give us some comments? I see there are none, so we do need a motion for going to closed session this evening.
Second.
And just thank you. Just for the record again, of the 2 purposes for which we would be going into closed session are personnel pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2C1 and collective bargaining 5 ILCS 120/2C2.
Alrighty, so we are going to now be at the point of our meeting where we're going to go into closed session. And do we need to tell them about
We need to vote on that?
Need a roll call?
We will need a roll call vote to go into closed session, and we will be returning after closed session to potentially conduct business.
So clerk, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Donnersberger.
Aye.
Trustee Eck.
Aye.
Trustee Gazis. Trustee O'Laughlin. Trustee Saldana. Trustee Svetska.
Aye.
And President Wittenberg.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
from closed session. Could I get a motion to reconvene the meeting?
So moved to go to open meeting.
I will.
And do we have a voice vote? Roll call.
A voice vote is fine.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion has passed.
And
We are now in open session.
just for the record, Andy, do you want just identify the trustees and personnel who are present?
Yes, so present we have Trustee Sveska, Trustee Donnersberger, Trustee Eck, President Wittenberg, myself, Patrick Branken, Village Attorney, Mike Kernick, Chief of Police, and David Karaffa, Audiovisual Technician.
Could I get a motion, please?
Sorry. I'll make the motion to pass ordinance 2023-23 and ordinance repealing the village's COVID-19 vaccination policy.
I'll second that.
Can we have a roll call?
Trustee Donnersberger.
Aye.
Trustee Eck.
Aye.
Trustee Gazis, absent. Trustee O'Laughlin, absent. Trustee Sveska.
Aye.
And President Wittenberg.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Alrighty, I think we're at that time where we need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. I would like to second that motion, please.
This
And
meeting
I'll
is-
vote for it.
This meeting is now adjourned.
Aye.
At,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.